Graph the solution set to 2x plus 4 is less than 3, and 3x is greater than or equal to 12, and express it in interval notation. This is another and inequality, just like the previous ones. However, these inequalities aren't yet solved for x, so we need to isolate x in both of them before we continue. For the first inequality, we can subtract 4 from both sides. This leaves us with 2x is less than negative 1. And to get x alone, we divide by 2. That leaves us with x is less than negative 1/2. So that's the first one. For the second one, to get x alone, we just need to divide both sides by 3. That gives us x is greater than or equal to 4. So this becomes x is less than negative 1/2, and x is greater than or equal to 4. And now that we've solved for x in each of these inequalities, we're ready to set up the number line and start graphing. All right, the first inequality, x is less than negative 1/2, is going to have an open circle at negative 1/2. It's halfway between 0 and negative 1, and then we're shading to the left. And then the other one, x is greater than or equal to 4, is going to have a closed circle at 4 and shade to the right. Now, because this is an and inequality, we're looking for the overlap. But here, we notice that there is no overlap. In fact, it's impossible for a number to be less than negative 1/2 and also greater than or equal to 4 at the same time. There are no numbers that fit that bill. There is no overlap, and so in a situation like this, we say no solution. We can't actually put this on the graph because there's nothing to graph, and we can't use interval notation because there's no interval, but there is a symbol that we can use to represent this situation where there's no solution. And you might see it in class or in a textbook or on the online homework system. That symbol is a 0 with a slash through it. And what this actually means, it's a symbol that means empty set. And so what that means, because we're talking about solution sets, we're talking about the sets of numbers that are solutions to these inequalities, this means that there is no number in the set that actually works. It's kind of like an empty basket. If you were to put all the solutions into a basket, but there were no solutions, you'd have an empty basket. This effectively means that. It's called empty set, and it's a symbol that we can use when we're solving an inequality, and we find out that there are no solutions in the end. So in this case, there is no graph, there is no interval notation. You can just write no solution, or you can write the empty set symbol. And either of those is a fine final answer.